Hello, I'm John Naylor from channelwhitsunday.com. It's the 13th of September 2009. Once again, I found my way down to the Percy Islands here, Middle Percy, and had the opportunity to pull aside Cate Radcliffe, who has now been back here, a true island caretaker of Middle Percy Island. Thanks for your time, Catherine.
You're welcome.
Yeah, now, when I visited you here last year, you'd only been here just a couple of weeks, and since then, it's now 1 year on, quite a transformation's come about the place.
Ah, yes, a lot of hard work and encouragement from all the visitors makes it worthwhile.
Yeah. Now, immediately apparent when you're down there at the Western Bay there, the A-frame, that's undergone a big tidy up and it's now got a new roof.
Oh, that was just an amazing project. Yep, we had great support from everybody.
Now, there was some particular character back on shore in Mackay that got behind that, wasn't there? Or along with...
Yeah, Jeff Craig, he helped us with the boat, the Barrigan. He brought over about 11 people. And the Cane Land Shopping Centre very kindly donated some of their roofing iron for us.
Oh, so it's actually part of the shopping centre that's now covering all that yachting memorabilia.
That's right, yes. It should last for another 50 years, hopefully.
Okay. Well, there's actually one of our group here was actually looking for the Mr. Whippy down there, or the Donut King, but it wasn't in evidence, unfortunately. So, is there a chance that we're going to see any of the, big highbrow sort of frying shows are setting up here anytime soon, do you think?
Oh, I hope not. No. I think goat burgers as best as you get.
Yeah. Now, let's touch on that. Now, of course, you are a cousin of Andy, who was the caretaker here for many years. Do you feel a certain connection, or do you feel his presence here at all? I mean...
every time I light the fire.
Is that right?
Absolutely, yeah. And any time I'm slacking, I think I should get out there and work harder.
Oh, you can almost feel him on your shoulder having a bit of word with you.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's a marvellous thing. I mean, I just miss his physical presence, but I do find thinking of him very inspiring.
Yeah. Now, island caretaking and here at Middle Percy is not a new thing. There was the Whites, correct me if I'm wrong, were sort of the guys that originally set up the residence at the homestead here. Andy came in after them and sustained it for a great many years. So there's a good deal of heritage here, isn't there? There's this place has been sustained and relatively well managed, you could argue, based upon someone living here at the homestead and carrying that through. Now, you've become the latest in the fray in terms of carrying that forward. What sort of things go on here from week to week or day to day that an island caretaker, true island caretaker, gets up to?
Yeah, well, living off the land, basically, whatever was feasible in the day to live off the land. In the White's day, they could have sheep farming. In Andy's day, he was living off the feral goats, and he'd introduced kangaroos, and so they're a feral animal too in their own way.
So kangaroos actually weren't part of what happened here on the island?
No, they weren't there. In Matthew Flinders' logbook, there was no marsupials here. So there aren't any little melamies or there aren't even any goannas. So our main food production on the meat side is the goats, and also the goats keep down the prickly pear and the lantana, so they do a bit of weed control. And now that we're back in a management situation again to keep the numbers down of all the feral animals, then I think there is a balance to be achieved.
Okay, and so that's basically occurring. You're saying with the way that you're looking up the place. We know that just before you there was a certain character that probably wasn't doing the sort of job that should have been done, but things are now back well in order, you'd have to say.
Oh, yes, and we're still going towards culling more of the feral goats. In fact, we could actually make a bit of an income from the feral goats, which is what it's all about, living off the land. So apart from growing produce, is using what's available, and also to use the fallen timber to fix the homestead with, and any other repair work that needs to be done around the island, because all the buildings were made from island timber originally.
Yeah, okay. Now, of course, the challenges never stop, and I understand that come early next year, the lease for the island is once again up for renewal. Now, what do you think would be the best thing to happen in that situation?
Well, to keep it the way it has all these years, which is enabling people to live off the land and to continue to welcome the visitors, the thousands of visitors that come each year to Percy Island, who don't want to see a resort or anything like even a low-key cabin resort.
Oh, yeah, well, of course, resorts lately, island resorts, in fact, of course, capitulated given the current economic crisis, haven't they? So it's not a real good time to be talking resorts, one would argue.
No, I think the outlay required, the income, that just wouldn't be profitable at all. So just to live generally as all the old pioneers have done, and as people still do out in the bush, just live off the land, grow your chickens, cull your goats, eat the meat, sell the skins, and just have the simple life, literally.
Yeah, okay. So, in all that being the way it has been for some time, can we see any specific damage here? Is there any sign that, like, the Great Barrier Reef has been affected, or that, in fact, the habitat here on the island has been affected?
There's nothing obvious. If there's little places, they could easily be managed by simply fencing them off, and just doing that with the support of the authorities would be a wonderful thing to do.
Well, that's tremendous. So obviously you're feeling that you'd like to stay on here and obviously continue what you're doing. You seem to be enjoying yourself. The story since we've been here about the chickens hatching and a few goats sort of coming back into line and that sort of thing. You're certainly enjoying yourself by the sounds of it, Kate.
Oh, wonderful. I love the variety. It's absolutely brilliant. And, of course, the bees, they're an integral part of living here too, because they're the disease-free bees.
Yeah,
and as we get more proficient with them, we'll be able to do the breeding of the queen bees.
Yeah.
So there's many ways to make a living. You don't need to make a huge amount of money, because a lot of the product is actually here already if we're allowed to live off the land.
Yeah. Okay, well, it's fantastic. Well, that kettle probably just about boiled there. I'm looking forward to a cup of Percy Island tea there anytime you're ready.
Okay, that sounds like a good plan.
All right, thank you very much for your time, Kate. And obviously it's great to drop down here and be a part of what happens here at the Percy Islands. So much history, even as you're sitting around here in the homestead, so much in evidence. And we look forward to a great future for the Percy Islands. Thank you very much, Kate. I'm John Naylor from channelwithsunday.com.